to be able to see a family and kids go through this whole thing with you, it's like, man, that's gotta be the coolest childhood growing up and seeing their dad doing what they're doing and him sharing that with you.
Dude, if it's half as cool for them as it is for me and Laney,
Yeah.
that would be awesome
Yeah.
because it is some of the experiences we get to have together and just the way that we get to live my dream as a family.
Yeah.
That was the dilemma in the whole thing, when it wasn't happening is I felt bad being broke because the reason we were broke is because it was my dream. My dream didn't make any money.
All right, guys, welcome back to In the Booth. I'm Shawn Booth. We got Sam Cat over on her love seat over there.
Hello, everyone.
And to my left, we got the man, the myth, the legend, from selling tires at Costco to topping the Billboard charts, everybody. Give it up for Walker Hayes. I feel like just saying that's like the plot line for a movie.
Yeah,
Your life.
It is.
Do you feel like that?
I mean, I am in 100% agreement. My life. I mean, every article of clothing, every car, every keychain, it all has a story, and it's been a crazy adventure, that Laney and I have been on really since we met.
And so, if it was a movie, who would play you as the main
no,
character?
that's the magic. I don't know. I have
not
no
Jason
idea.
Bateman.
Not Jason. Yeah, not. I don't know. Do you act? I feel like you're a better looking version of me and younger.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
We're like the same height.
Same height. Yeah, same build too.
Kind of.
We're not even in our prime yet either.
Jacked. Am I?
How old are you?
43.
All right.
So I still haven't hit my prime.
No, not yet. I always say prime's like 3 years from now.
Oh goodness! So
3
I have
years from
something to
now is
look
a
forward
prime.
to.
Yeah.
Let's go.
46 is where it happens.
No, I know you're probably familiar with my best buddy Craig.
Yeah.
Who helped us out, and we're actually in talks with some folks about
doing a movie,
doing a little movie.
Really?
Yeah. But it is fun. It's fun. Laney and I and my kids will laugh about like, hey, this guy should play you, or whatever. But that's very funny to think about.
I'm gonna throw it out there. Hugh Jackman.
I love, dude. Hugh Jackman's a stud, dude. The greatest showman.
I mean, I feel like that's Wolverine, it right there. That's kind of your life.
Yeah.
Me and Sam Cat are huge The Greatest Showman fans. I mean, how many times have
you
you seen
really?
that
Yeah.
movie?
Oh, yeah.
I love that movie.
I think together we've watched it at least 20 times.
Yeah.
Separately, I don't know. I don't have your count, but mine's probably over 100.
I went to the movie theaters twice to see that movie.
Yeah.
And that's the only movie I've seen in a movie theater in like 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, the music is incredible. And I don't know if you've seen the YouTube videos of when Hugh Jackman went to get it approved, and they had to sit in a room with the entire ensemble and the cast. You have to watch. It's got like.
Did he sing it? Did he sing?
So he wasn't supposed to sing. He had like surgery.
I know exactly the video you speak
he had to
of.
remove I think it was maybe something cancerous in his nose
Yeah.
or something. He wasn't supposed to sing, and he sat in the room, and it was to get it green lit.
Yeah.
And so somebody else was singing for him.
Yeah.
And he had everybody there. And then right in the middle, he kind of just stepped up to the microphone and took over.
Yeah.
And sang the whole song. And everybody just kind of lost their minds.
Right.
And we're like, yeah, this is something special.
Well, you and I both, our paths are so not traditional,
Mm-hmm.
in a world of normalcy and security and, good, smart, less risky decisions.
Yeah.
And that movie just parallels a dreamer's life. And I mean, holy cow, man. When when his kid's face is in the tree, I got kids.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, man, that movie, Laney and I we just get it. We watch that movie and it's like, yeah, I get it.
Something special. So the ultimate dreamer. And I feel like you've obviously been in this city for a while now. How long?
Shoot. I mean, almost, this is year 19.
Okay.
I mean, we moved here in 2004.
And you came here with the dream to do music full time.
Yeah, just wanted to do music in some capacity. I was very naive. I'd never written a song or anything like that. I definitely didn't have the chops really still don't, as far as like a singer or a performer, man, Nashville is just, it's just crawling with God's gifted people. I mean, just as far as music is concerned. So yeah, I just came here wanting to just live the dream, just do music to provide for my wife, you know, and take care of her and to build a family. And so that was essentially the dream. Yeah.
And so you were getting a little bit of traction with music, and then so from what I've heard, the story of Costco is somebody came up to you in Costco.
Yeah. Well, so the way I got a Costco job, it was kind of, it was crazy. I'll never forget this. I had been dropped by 2 labels by then when I went to work at Costco. I had been dropped from Mercury. I was there for 10 minutes. And then I was at Capitol Records for 4 years and 2 failed singles. I had 3 pub deals, a lot of jobs, been fired a couple times. And Lainey and I had 6 kids, and I was playing Walker Wednesdays at the Puckett's Boathouse in Franklin. And really, I played those shows because they gave us free food. And, you know, I mean, that's a lot of mouths to feed. And they would always send us with to-go boxes and stuff. So every Wednesday night, Walker Wednesday. And one night, this young man was sitting at a table, and he knew deep cuts, you know, and that was surprising because everything in mine was a deep cut. I didn't have a hit at all, you know. And you know, I was singing originals, but mostly covers at the Boathouse. So I'd be like, hey, this is a song I wrote a couple months ago, and this dude knew him word for word, you know. So obviously he's following me, and this is 10 years ago, so he's following me on Instagram or maybe Facebook. I don't know, you know. So this guy knows every word, and I was like, man, I gotta go at least say hey to this guy, you know, when we take a break. And I said, I went and introduced myself, and I was like, man, it means so much. You know, I see you out here singing these words. Thank you so much. This dude's probably 10, 12 years younger than me. And he's so kind. And, you know, it was one of those, like, I was his hero, you know, and I was, honestly, I was like, bro, you need a better hero, you know, like things aren't really going that great for me right now. And, but I appreciated it. And he also was a singer songwriter, and, he mentioned, he was like, dude, I want to get your autograph before I leave on this napkin. And then he mentioned that he worked at Costco in the tire center, and, you know, a light went on, and I was like, dude, I need a night job. I need like I need an overnight stocking job. And I was so embarrassed. I felt like I crushed this guy. You know, I don't know how to put it, but like I felt like he thought I was immortal, and I was like, no, I'm very
like
mortal.
Enough to him.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, I was like, dude, I'll give you my autograph if you'll put in a good word for me. And it just, none of it made sense. And I could tell I could tell he was like, weird, you know, like I love your music, and I want advice on the biz. And I was like, I'm probably not the dude to give it to you, because I need a job, bro. And so, and he did, you know, thank goodness. He put in a good word for me, and within 2 weeks, you know, I was stocking produce at Costco, and, you know, it was a humbling time. I mean, I was coming face to face with, you know, people in the industry who worked at the labels I'd been dropped from. And it was kind of like that, you know, just that weird eye to eye where you could tell, I felt like I had to reiterate, oh, this is just, it's just for a minute, man. You know, I'm just trying to get up, you know, trying to get up, you know, take care of the kids, blah, blah. I'll be all right. I'll bounce back, where they were looking at me getting strawberries going, this isn't good. You know, I'm embarrassed for you, you know, for us to see each other, you know? And so it was just, you know, it was a humbling moment in my life, but also just character building. You know, I just wanted, like I said, I just wanted to write music, you
Yeah.
know, for a job. So now, dude, now that I get to do that, I mean, I don't take it for granted. That's for
Yeah.
sure, you know.
At any point were you starting to feel like maybe what you were chasing and going after wasn't going to happen? Or were you just always with a clear view, like, I know I'm going to make it? This is just temporary.
When people ask me questions like this, I always try to think of like that dreamer, you
Yeah.
know, that's listening on the other side. And Shawn, I feel like I read this quote the other day that said, the dude who loves walking is going to walk further than the dude who loves the destination.
Hmm.
And I was like, that's me. Like, and I didn't love that that was me all the time. And I guess what I mean is there were times where I would be like, hey, let's just make sense, man. Just get a job. Like, just get a
Hmm.
normal job. Get a 401k. How about that? Like, let's start saving for your kids' college. You know, you got some kids, you got some girls. They'll probably want to get married one day. Like, don't you want to do decisions? Like, don't you want to do life in a way that makes sense and relieves the stress of providing, you know, from you? And I'd be like, yeah, I do want to do that. But then a couple weeks later, I'd have more song ideas scribbled on napkins and on my arms and hands, I'd be writing songs still, you
Hmm.
know, and it's like I just couldn't quit, you know, I
Right.
just because I loved it. It
Yeah.
wasn't like I didn't get up every day writing a song going, man, maybe this one will buy us a farm and I'll be famous and rich. I just love writing a song. And so I just kept, even when I didn't really want to or wasn't really excited that that dream had you know had so much power over me, I just still kept writing
Kept writing.
songs. Yeah.
And when you're writing, I'm always fascinated by this. Is it just something that comes to your head as lyrics first, or you just figure out like a beat and then you just kind of jot it down in your
Yeah.
notes? Is it always something that's just coming to your head?
For me personally, it's all lyrics. I mean, some
Yeah.
people have the gift of melody. Some people build tracks. You know, I can do those things, but I don't feel like that's my gift. Mine is just lyrics, just words, the twist of a phrase. So really, it's just a literally a sentence or just a line in a song, or mainly just like a hook, and I will text myself. I have a ongoing text, you know, to myself, a billion years long, and you know that's where I start, you
Right.
know, for a song. But yeah,
And so obviously you've been working at it for years and years, and then Fancy Like comes along, which
yeah,
just completely takes you to the complete next level. I mean,
nuts,
that song, I think every person and their mother has heard that song.
yeah.
No matter what type of genre of
They've
music
done the
they listen
dance,
to, they've done the
yeah.
dance, they know it. Obviously that song's got a very special place in your heart.
Fancy like is a in my life for so many reasons. Uh, I can't explain that song, you
Mhm.
know. I mean, I really can't. I would love to hear other artists, you know, talk about that one, you
Mhm.
know, for them because it's quite perplexing. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, you think about when Fancy Light came out, it was literally right after COVID. Still places kind of shut down. Um, I haven't had a show. I hadn't had a show for 400 and something days. I think my team was probably looking at me and honestly they were probably being like, you kind of dadderific, you know, you're not really looking like a star on socials these days. And I was like, what do I have cool to post? You know, like I don't have any cool shows. I'm not flying around on jets. I
Yeah.
don't have a crowd, you know.
Yeah.
I don't have I'm not walking around in some, you know, some fancy outfit y'all bought me for some ACM show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was really nothing glamorous to even fictitiously elevate myself in on Instagram, you know.
Mhm.
So basically, if you look at posts from around that time, I'm living in these flannel PJs. I've grown a beard for the first time in my life. I actually spent several months in Mobile because I lost my dad. So I'm hanging with my dad, growing a beard, not really focused on my career at all. But in the meantime, my daughter and I are TikToking. Now, honestly, at this point in my life, I am going, don't want to do this forever, can I sustain this? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm honestly thinking, do I need to go get another gig, and just write on the side again? Is that what's about to come up? And then my team and I had an EP coming out. Fancy Like was the last song to go on it. My daughter says, "Hey, Dad, this song needs a dance on a Sunday afternoon." And I'm talking about boom. I mean, over freaking night, I have a job. Like, and for maybe the next 10 years because of that. I mean, it is crazy. I mean, and again, this is, what year is this? It's 2023 right now. So that's 2021, 22. And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in a land of uncertainty, just living in the neighborhood, just trying to take care of my kids. And Leela and I make up this dance and we pop it off. I go for a run.
Mm-hmm.
When I come back, I just looked at my phone. I remember where it was on the counter and I was like, check it out, Leela. I was like, we got 6,000 views. 6,000 is what I thought. And she goes, this is 30 minutes. She goes, Dad, that says 600,000. I kid you not. I was like, something's broken. That they have the wrong guy. I don't understand. I was like, this is a glitch. You know how you look at it and it glitch. I was like, it's glitching. By that weekend, 13.5 million views. The Today Show is like, will you sing this Fancy Like song in your? I'm telling you guys, over friggin' night. Like before that, my life was wake up, get on a Zoom, have some coffee, jump on the trampoline with my kids, play with the dogs, go to church, maybe go to a restaurant if it's open because of COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nobody knew me. Nobody cared. And then bam, it's literally mayhem. I mean,
Everywhere.
I'm talking about just the song goes platinum in a month. It just went like 5 times platinum. There's a Kids Bop version. I've heard it in different languages. I'm telling you, man, it's a complete phenomenon. It is. If I could do it again, I wouldn't be here. I'd be going to doing it again. I don't know how. I had no idea that bass drop and the word Applebee's would just crush so many people. I mean,
and if you didn't do a TikTok dance,
oh yeah,
what do you think would happen to that song?
I'm curious. I mean, I guess I think the song was out 2 days. The songs come out Friday. So I guess the song was out Friday, and the numbers were
doing good.
For me, they were like awesome already. You know, but I mean, I think without the TikTok platform, man, it was just magic. I mean, I don't know, dude. I watched that video and like Leela is the perfect age. The porch we're on, it's so lame. It's just like our house, it's 2 rocking chairs and a flamingo in the background. Like we didn't set it up. We didn't like practice it. We didn't redo it. We just laughed. We didn't change clothes. We just got in what we were wearing. There's something about it that I look at and I just think, man,
that's you.
Yeah.
And people are drawn to that.
Yeah.
Right?
And in the world, I mean, look, I'm not that smart, but I feel like maybe the world was at a place where it was like, can we just hear something dumb? Because me and every other artist for the past 2 years had been like writing songs like, when will we be 3 feet together again? And you know what I mean? We'd all written the contemplative, like, heal the world, make it a better place, And so, I think maybe the world was like, can we just stop and go back to Applebee's again?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, if COVID hadn't happened, I don't know. Like, if I dropped the same song today, I don't know. If
And how pumped
everybody's
was
feeling it.
Applebee's when they heard that song? Like, do you get shares in their
Oh,
stock or what?
I wish.
You gotta have a free lifetime
Dude, I
menu.
do. I have a gold.
Yeah.
I have a gold card, and you can. It's heavy. It's fun to. The kids
it
take
down.
turns who gets to drop it on the table, and most stores look at it as like, what is this? Because it's the only one. It's the only gold card
they made one just for you.
that exists. But man, Applebee's has been. I've had grown men that work for Applebee's with tears in their eye, because it wasn't doing great
Right.
then, and that helped,
And you
their
brought them
family
back to life.
And I did, we didn't mean to, man. I've written so many songs with products that I love in it. Wishing, just died, just being
Yeah,
like, please,
hopefully they sponsor
you
me.
send me some free chips. I'll put Doritos in here,
Yeah.
and you just beg. So honestly, it's awesome that Applebee's jumped on it. I think they're brilliant for actually having some fun and capitalizing on it. And I'm very close with some people, in the Applebee's organization, and we're working on some things, in the future. And they're honestly, they're family now, and it's just because they were willing to just really partner, and have fun with that song.
That's amazing. Olive Garden's probably like, damn it.
I know.
Should have given them more breadsticks.
Dude, breadsticks.
Sam Cat, you know the dance, fancy like dance.
I do. I learned it on a boat.
You're practicing.
Percy Priest. Around the time when the world was shut
There you
down.
go.
That was what I did all of COVID. I'd bring my laptop out to Percy Priest. You can get a hotspot Wi-Fi out there. That's where I worked from. But there were plenty of fancy like tutorials.
Yeah, I mean the dance just that was what was so funny is like I am nobody, just dad guy, just normal, and anytime you would scroll, I mean there would be like just 50 versions of that on your feed, just somebody doing it behind a boat, doing it at Applebee's, just billions of Pilates classes of elderly people in a nursing home doing the fancy, it was just crazy how that dance took off
everywhere. When I've always wanted this too, artists who hear their songs on the radio.
Yeah.
And if you're driving in your truck, whatever, your song comes on. Are you like, man, I'm sick of this song. I don't want to hear it anymore. You have to listen the entire way.
Yeah. I mean, and that's, that's the thing too, is like, my authentic self, it's a tough sell for a radio market.
Yeah.
So I don't hate when I hear me on the radio.
Yeah.
And that song blasted its way on multiple formats. You know, like I mean, we be you'd hear watermelon sugar, and then it'd be like, yeah, we fancy like Applebee, and I'd be like, dude, it was funny. I remember a really proud dad moment for me was my kid. That song, "What You Know About Rolling Down," that song was hot. And it was on fire. It was just like every day you open iTunes, it was like that was the jam. And Fancy Like came out, and I was like, we're gonna pass it. And on one night I came home just from a writer's round. It was like the first time I think Fancy Like had hit. It had gone up the country chart or whatever, but dude, it passed that song. And I remember coming
That's a big
home
flex.
and walking in the front door, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Eat it, kids!" I was like, "We beat that song." And I don't know, man. It was the most unlikely. I can't explain it to be. I try to, and they're like, "Oh, whatever. You know, you're a songwriter. That was your ambition." But I mean, Fancy Like really is. You know, I grew up doing the Macarena. You know,
Yeah.
and that's one in a bazillion.
Yeah.
You there was no other dance like that. And you know, for this 40-year-old dude and his daughter and a song about Applebee, like to do what that has done, it's miraculous. I mean, it's like Haley's Comet. It just, you know, I got so many friends after, you know, being here 17, 18, 19 years. We would all kill for that. Like, you know, that you don't even try to do that because that's just.
Yeah. And you've never even thought about that either, right? Like this whole time, you're not like, oh, I'm going to get on a social media platform. I'm going to do a dance.
Right.
And overnight,
like I say, I'm just like, hey, I sure would love to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that's one beautiful thing about music is I don't ever have to retire because I just love it. And so, you don't go into a room going, let's create a cultural phenomenon, you know, that just literally, I don't know, like it'll live way longer than me. Like, you know, that song will probably be in the
it'll never die.
Pixar 3,000 year version of, you know, Monsters Inc., whatever that looks like. It'll probably resurface, you know, and I don't know. It's just one of those. It's just really been fun. You know, sharing it with everybody I wrote it with my team who has, you know, stood by me through some tough stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's magical. And so, I mean, if it's on in Walmart, I don't leave Walmart. We dance in Walmart. You know, if it's on the radio, you know, when we get home, we sit in the car till it finishes it. Every single kid will not get out. We'll just jam in the driveway. We are grateful for that song. And I don't ever get tired of playing it. It's gonna be a crazy day if that's ever not the last song in my set. Because I'm afraid if I play it, people will leave. That's all I wanted. That's all I came to hear, you know?
I think the coolest part about that too is that you got to share that with your daughter. And I think what everybody loves about you looking from the outside and finding it endearing is you and your family, right? And people are so drawn to that because they see that love and that natural connection. And to be able to see a family and kids go through this whole thing with you, it's like, man, that's gotta be the coolest childhood growing up and seeing their dad doing what they're doing and him sharing that with you.
Dude, if it's half as cool for them as it is for me and Lanny, that would be awesome because it is, I don't know, there's some of the experiences we get to have together and just the way that, you know, we get to live my dream as a family. That it just sounds selfish when you put it that way, but that's kind of what we do, you know. And that's, I mean, honestly, that was the dilemma in the whole thing, you know, when it wasn't happening is I felt bad. I felt bad being broke because the reason we were broke is because it was my dream. You know, my dream didn't make any money. And so I always felt bad dragging my family, you know, through situation. Look, if it's just me, whatever. I'll live under a bridge with a guitar. I'm good, you know, but it was my family and my wife. And so I'm telling you, man, don't get me started. I'll start crying about it. But, you know, I think of the weirdest stuff, but like I imagine one day, you know, Lord willing, my daughter has a daughter or a kid, and we're sitting around, and I'm like, I'm old, you know, and I'm like, let me tell you about this song. You know, they probably already know it because it's somewhere, and I'm like, we made this dance, you know, and me and Leela will probably do this dance for her 13-year-old, and the 13-year-old will be like, this is a dorky song, but I'll be like, yeah, but it was badass.
Yeah.
You know, when it came out. And I mean, honestly, I'm like, one day, you know, if I get to die on a deathbed, you know, where I can talk before I go, I'm sure I'll look at Leela and be like, man, we had some freaking fun, didn't we? Like that was crazy, wasn't it? You know, because she'll have lived life, and the longer she lives, the bigger that will get. Because that's one of those moments that for me, yeah, it's all fun, but the further I get from it, the more miraculous it gets. The more I'm like, whoa, that was crazy. And the fact that I got to share it with my firstborn daughter, and you talk about like Leela's 17. We did this when she was 15. A 15-year-old on a Sunday choreographed a dance with her nerdy dad on the porch, and it made an impact on the world. Like, imagine how that's going to change just her life, you know, knowing that you can act that. What else can you dream bigger than that? I mean, that's crazy, you know? And so I don't know, man, I think about it, and just like I said, the opportunities, you know, she's dancing on the show. Leela dances the entire show with me now with 3 professional dancers. Loxley the other night sang a song with me to a sold out crowd at Red Rocks. I'm like,
incredible.
What dad gets to sit on a stage with a guitar at Red Rocks with their 9-year-old and be like, hey, we're just going to sing a song. And, you know, my son, he's selling bracelets with Walker Hayes pick. Like, he's becoming this entrepreneur. My Chapel, my 15-year-old, designs some of the merch it's like, I don't understand, you know, that, you know, why we get to do it. And then in the meantime, I get to be with my wife. Like I never, you know, I used to have to say goodbye, you know, every Wednesday. And now we're just like, hey, let's hop on the bus. None of it, we don't got to cook. We just get Panda Express and Applebee's and, you know, Chick-fil-A you know, because our tour manager feeds us. And it's crazy, man, that we get to have this season. And I know that it won't last forever, but man, times are good right now. And it's especially because of the family aspect. I would not, honestly, if my family didn't get to go right now, I would just retire on Fancy Like.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be something too, where you're able to, like you're saying, if you're on your deathbed or an older man, where you can just sit back and you're going to be content. Like, I did something very special that's going to live on forever.
Yeah,
and ever.
You know, I don't know. That's a content is a. I don't like that word because it's hard to find.
It is.
Know, it's.
I think it's what everybody strives to find.
God,
to be able to sit there and feel content.
Yeah, tell me where it is. Because that's the thing. You know, as I'm speaking about all this, you know, good stuff, there's still that like, I want to do that again. Or, you know, but yeah, I mean, I should be the most content human of all time. I mean, just the memories I get to make, you know, with my kids and the fan, you know, what we've made it through. And again, just God gave me a gift and I get to use it, you know, to provide every day. That's crazy. So yeah, it's been insane.
Can you imagine getting pulled up on stage at the Red Rocks at 9 years old? To sing with your dad.
No, not at all. I cannot. And I feel like in the world we live in right now is so curated. Social media is this and posed and all of this stuff that if anyone ever doubted that authenticity and genuine and transparent and realistic is not the route to go, I feel like your story like puts the kibosh on that completely. Because like when you're describing it, you're like, oh, it's just a Sunday afternoon and I'm with my daughter. We didn't even change. We got rocking chairs and a flamingo or whatever. Like those are the things that people are innately attracted to. And I feel like that's something that you can build success off of almost accidentally. Like you're saying, like, oh, I just went for a run and it came back. But I feel like, especially in the timeline of which this took off, everybody, like you're saying, was feeling some type of way about standing 6 feet apart. And can we hear less than another sad song? It's like everything that you've described is exactly what everyone needed at the time. And I think that that is truly why it happened, is because it was the breath of fresh air that we needed. It was a simple, fun dance that you can do with your grandmother all the way down to your 3-year-old and everywhere in between. And I feel like that has now transpired and has escalated into this family business that you have. And it's just like, that was earned because of the work that you've put in over the last 19 years of being here. And it's just like, my dad always tells me to put myself in a position to get lucky.
You know, we're all, every human is insecure, you know, on a lot of levels. And you know that, we all know that. Like, authenticity is the way to get, it's the right answer, but it's the hardest answer. And I think that's the dilemma, you know, in creativity, is like, it's hard to go in and be okay with who you are and write it on a piece of paper and sing it. Cause you're like, maybe that part of me isn't so cool. You know what I mean? Maybe that's not awesome. Maybe that audience won't love that. But in return, you know, facing that fear, you know, denying that insecurity and being honest and authentic is always very rewarding, and it's very inviting. You know, don't you love it when you meet somebody who's no BS and you're like, wow, you basically told me you're vulnerable, and I am too. And it just feels good to say that, you know, and we live in such a world of fear. And like you said, you know, socials, it's much easier to become thwarted by the desire to, I don't know if you want to see my face from that angle. My kid looks weird in that picture. You know, we did that, and I seemed a little angry in that video. Let me act a little more happy, you know. And that's one thing I've not because of me, but just I've fought to just try to stay transparent, because just people need that, you know. We don't need more sizing up. We don't need more comparison. We don't need more how awesome is your car? Can I get one of the, you know, there's enough of that. And so that's really, essentially, to me, that's kind of what socials is. It's a way every day to go, here, can I show and tell what, you know, I have? And so I try to just pop it off. This is what we did today. We ate at Waffle House. You know, just try to keep it authentic. But in saying that, I still feel that, like, was it cool? Did I look like a cool enough star? You know, there's still that going on inside. But like you said, fancy, like, all that was gone. And that, to me, that's the unduplicatable magic of it, is that for some reason I didn't even flinch at dropping a song where the bass hit and the first word was Applebee's. I talked to some people on my team who are like, man, I thought it was either going to be big or ruin your career. And honestly, I didn't even think that it was going to ruin it. I just was like, I like this jam, you know, and I like Applebee's. So, you know,
Relatable.
Yeah.
I feel like it's super relatable.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't afraid of it. But it's funny, now that I am famous, I feel more of a need to be like, oh, well, people liked it. Like, is this cool? Am I cool?
More pressure.
Yeah. There's a little more, like, temptation to manufacture. So I have to fight that and be like, hey, this hit happened in pajama pants. Okay. So it doesn't matter how cool I'm acting. You know, I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Just
you can't be like hopping out of a limo in a suit, starting to hit that fancy.
Yeah.
Like,
hashtag Bled. Like, here, look at my G6. No.
Do you feel pressure with your children, like providing that example and being their authentic self, especially at their age where they have social media?
Yeah, I try. I mean, Laney and I were talking the other day, and just, man, I just feel like being a parent, it's just, it's such hypocrisy. It is just every day I every day I um try to cultivate these kids who do better at things that I can't do better at. You know, like, for instance, the phone or work, or, seeking affirmation from socials, or, running to the things that I can control and hiding from my problems in my job, or manipulating people with my job. Or, it's funny, like, I'll tell Leela to be nice to her friends, or nicer to her siblings, and then I'll say something snap, at my wife. And it's like, I'm constantly alarmed by how much parenting is basically just saying, do as I say, not as I do. It's such this cyclical. And what's funny is you can talk all you want. They learn from what you do, what they see. And so, yeah, I mean, there's that pressure, but then there's also God. And I'm just like, thank you for Jesus, because that's the point, that's the one true thing I can say to my kids that I'm not lying about, is I need Jesus, and so do they. And we all do, and we all need mercy. And thank God my kids are very forgiving. When I blow up or when I fail, I say I'm sorry, and they accept my apologies. And so, I told my kids I'm gonna pay for all their therapy, and and I know a lot of stuff's gonna be my fault, and it's just, I pray that I don't break them too much, with myself, and just, my flaws as a parent. I mean, I love my kids so much, but man, parenting is by far the most humbling job on earth that I don't think anyone is completely adequate
Yeah.
to do.
And never will be.
Never. There's no
You'll learn as you go.
Yeah, there's no perfect father or mother, on this side of heaven. There's just not. And man, you just get hit in the face with that every day with children, because the minute you're like, man, I'm a great dad, you just get punched in the guts with something you screwed up. And one thing I deal with, like, I can't stand about myself, is I'm a better dad and a better husband when I am more successful in the world's eyes. And that infuriates me. Like, I wish I could sell no tickets at a show, sing only songs that were terrible, and, have no worldly affirmation whatsoever, and come home and be an appreciative, happy dad and an awesome husband, who loves his wife. But I attach so much of my identity to how things are going according, to the world. And that's some territory the Lord is working on. But yeah, I'm babbling now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
No.
parenting is, man, I mean, it's perplexing. I'm amazed that God gave us so many kids to be in charge of. I don't feel, smart enough to help my kids sometimes.
Yeah. And so putting all of your energy, like, you have to spread your energy out into being a good husband, a good father, and a good artist. And there are some people that think that you have to put all of your energy and focus on this one thing in order for that to be the absolute best.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and plates fall.
Yeah.
I some of them are spinning really awesome at times, but I have to think, when it's all said and done, my career is not really going to matter to me.
Right.
That's hard to live your life backwards like that. I wish I could, just I wish I could go visit the day I die every now and then and remind myself the brevity of life and that I will not regret loving my wife well or giving my kids my 100% attention. You know, that's something that I struggle with and that I think all people will struggle with because I have kids, but I'm also a kid. I mean, I'm my son and I have dreams and I got mom and dad stuff of my own, and so I my first priority is just I want to love my family well. I think sometimes what happens to me as an adult is like I do a really good job of loving and treating people in a very selfish, manipulative way. If on the outside, it's your reputation. I'm good at walking in a room and everybody going, "What a nice guy. He's so genuine and awesome." But then behind closed doors, who am I at home?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not always. I'm not always proud of that guy, and I feel like maybe it should be the other way. Like maybe I should leave this room and y'all should be like, "Man, what a dickhead." But my kids and wife would be like, "What are you talking about? He's incredible." And so that's annoying, that we do that. And so, I could work on that. But man, priority wise, I mean, my life right now is set up to succeed as a father because we just do it as a family, and so that's the biggest blessing. If you were like, hey, what's the greatest thing, about having a banger like Fancy, like it would be that to me, is that I never have to say bye. So I have more opportunities to do it right, and to, spend time with my kids. I get up on the bus and one of them's playing Rocket League and I can get down on some Rocket League. We can play PlayStation on a Wednesday night, together. And so at least we had that moment.
And I think the one main thing you're missing too is having a banger like Fancy Like, and also being able to have a remix with Kesha.
Let's go. I mean, who gets to work with Kesha?
I mean, how'd that happen? Kesha's the best.
Oh, she's incredible. And one of my favorite songs of all time is Macklemore. The good old days. Then he told me that the good old days. I was thinking about the band. Doesn't matter, you know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. And it was a collab Kesha with Macklemore, and I've always been envious of that song. Now, Fancy Like is no good old days, but man, Kesha, gotta tell you, dude, one of the most down to earth.
Don't tell Shawn that. He already loves her beyond.
Oh, you do?
I'm a huge Kesha.
He's the biggest Kesha fan I know.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Yeah.
Truly.
One of the coolest hangs. I think from the outside you look and you're like, that's a freaking circus. Just what you see.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, sweetest, like just got along so well with my wife, Lainey. And my wife is just so chill. Like I don't even know how else to say it. She's just like, treats everybody she meets the same, just so laid back and just, and her and Kesha were like buddies, after that video shoot. But I mean, Kesha was awesome, and passed her in the airport a few months back and just like hangs with the kid. I mean, she's just an amazing human.
Yeah, she's a Nashville girl too, right?
Yeah,
she grew up here.
Yeah, I get Franklin, I think. I don't know her life story, but I mean, she was like, she's just
Shawn
super
does.
cool. You do?
No, I don't. I'm not like a super fan. I never feel like I'm a super fan of anybody. I just think Kesha's like awesome.
Yeah.
Like just from growing up, I remember seeing her reality show.
Yeah.
I always play her at the gym. Everybody's like, why are you playing Kesha at the gym?
Kesha has swag.
So, yeah, there's something about her. She's just cool.
I know.
And I saw her. I was on the same flight with her from here to LA, and I sat like right across the aisle from her. Didn't say a single word there.
You didn't?
No, I
Why
didn't.
not?
Yeah.
It didn't seem like she
You
wanted to talk.
should've.
She had her hood on. She was like,
She's a hoodie person.
I think it was
yeah.
like, it was during that crazy time she was going through.
Some tough times. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my Kesha story.
Dude, she has swag, and even when they said, you know, Kesha's gonna do a collab, I was like, man, the rest of the song is gonna suck. You know, when she just does her thing,
Yeah.
you know, just the way she phrases stuff is so hip.
Yeah.
She just has swag, but she's as cool as her music hit. I mean, she is so awesome, and she's kind of a family person. Like her mom travels around with her a lot, and she's funny, she's quirky, she's just cool. Like, she's not one of those people where you're like, oh, I'm a huge fan, and then you meet them and you're let down. You're actually like a bigger fan.
Yeah.
So I'd be scared for you to meet her. You
Yeah.
you might start face painting your.
Yeah. Do you feel like so it's kind of funny, right? You were kind of authentic with Fancy Like TikTok. Now I feel like everybody's trying to be Walker Hayes, right? Because I feel like if you're a manager in Nashville, Tennessee, you've got an artist. I feel like everybody's saying, "Hey, look what Walker did. Let's get you on TikTok. You got to start doing this."
I think the way I see look, we all imitate. I've imitated stuff before, so bam, that's all right. I would hope if anybody imitates, there's some artists that I've been so happy to imitate, because going back to the authentic word is maybe I could change the writing game where instead of seeing a bumper sticker and being like, oh, I'm gonna write a cool song that lands on that hook, maybe people will just dig from their life, you know, and go, oh, I'll write a song about that, because I think the world needs more of that, you know. So yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I think artists, entrepreneurs, you know, when you're playing guitar and you sit in a room with two other guitar players, you steal each other's trick. It's like you're like, oh, that's a cool chord. I'm gonna put that in my arsenal. And I think, you know, as artists, if I can help somebody evolve as an artist, like they go, oh, there's a window I didn't know you could jump through, you know, in this format, or, you know, writing wise, go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all good. I'm gonna evolve as well. So I'm flattered, you know, if somebody's like blatantly copying me. It doesn't make me mad. I mean, like I said, I've picked up a few things from my heroes as well.
Of course. And we're all evolving. And I feel like that's also a big thing with genres of music, right? And I'm sure you probably get asked all the time, like, country, is it pop? What's the deal with country pop? And I'm like, if it sounds good, it sounds good.
Right.
What's the difference with the genres?
Yeah.
And that's like, I feel like become a huge topic today, especially in country music.
Right.
Do you get frustrated with that? Like trying to have to like put you in one lane?
Yeah, I do. I'm just not that, that's not a detail I wake up paying attention to in my own life.
Yeah.
You know, like you just said, if it like makes me feel something, I'm all about it.
Exactly.
I'm never gonna turn on country radio and be blown away by a song and then go, wait, is it country
exactly
or pop?
Yeah.
Because if it's pop, F that. Like, I'm just not, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Nor do I, you know, I don't understand that. I'm just not, I don't care.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, and that's one of my favorite things about having kids is like, I find people like NF and Connor Price and Mackenzie Porter.
Yeah.
Like, I know Mackenzie Porter's every album because I got a 9-year-old girl who literally knows every word. And I just dive in, man, if it's good. Now, I don't want to sound like, hey, if country is just your you're flat. That's the hill you're dying on. And you're like, if it doesn't have this instrument, I will not listen. And it's not good. You know, I mean, I don't understand that, but I feel like you're missing out on some good stuff.
Yeah,
like
I'm with you on that. I agree. I'm like, it sounds good or it doesn't.
Yeah.
You like it or you don't like it.
Right.
You know?
Right. And honestly, I'm kind of like, even if you don't like it, it's a creation. Like, it's there, you know, like there's flowers that God made that I don't like walk by and like as much as a tulip, but I'm like, hey, it's there. That's cool. It's different. You know, like I don't understand when music became this badge of character, you know, where like, and what's funny is I wonder if other genres, honestly, I wonder if other genres are like, that's not rap, you know, they're like, this is crap, you know, like, do they do the same thing? Yeah.
Or is it just
or like Maroon 5, Die Hard, they're like, this is just not pop. This isn't pop enough.
Right.
You know, this is too R&B for me, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I feel like country's the only one that's there's a select few who are like
100%.
We will never change.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And if we do, it sucks. You know?
Yeah. It's definitely in the South with country music, I feel like.
Yeah. It's a thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you know.
Yeah. But it's like we're all evolving. Everything evolves. Sports evolve.
I think if I could be vulnerable on this topic, I think the thing that frustrates me the most is like, you know, here you have, like, look, we're all doing life. Not easy, you know. I've lost a kid. I've lost a dad. I've chased a dream that absolutely made zero sense to anyone except my wife and my kids. And then you have a moment where you're like, aren't you excited like that something like me can happen? Like, doesn't that give the world a glimmer of hope? Like,
exactly,
that I can dance with my daughter. But then you have people who are like, you suck, you know, and you're like, you're like, yeah, dude. You're like, man, I've been climbing Everest. And then you get to the top and you're like, idiot. You know, you hear this voice and you're like, geez, man, it just not, you can't.
Because you weren't playing a banjo in your TikTok video.
Dude, yeah. Or your pants are too tight, or your shoes aren't right, or you know, and it's like, you're just like, dang, man, I just can't get a moment. Actually, this happened to me the other night, man. Somebody came to my show and this lady, I guess, you know, she wanted me to sign her daughter's hat.
Yeah.
And man, I was working hard. You know, I try to touch every hand. I really do. Before I go out, I'm like, this isn't conducive to singing, but I'm going to touch every hand that goes up that I can, you know, and you know, you dance. I mean, you dance, you get after it, and you give all you can at a show, you know. And then this lady blasted me and was like, you know, I paid this much for this ticket, and he didn't sign my daughter's hat, you know. And I feel bad. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, of course.
And for her daughter, I'm like, that one signature, man, really could have impacted her in some really positive ways. And that's one of my least favorite things about people knowing me now is the amount of people I let down on a daily basis. It gets heavy. I mean, I get it's sad, and it's almost like the bigger you are, the bigger of a letdown you also are. And then in the meantime, while this lady's making a case that you didn't sign the hat, then there's those guys who are like, your music sucks anyway. You shouldn't have gone to his concert. And you're like, dude, I just had a moment. Like, I had a positive moment.
Yeah. And that always gets to you the most too, right? Because you could see, like, if you were scrolling, I don't know if you do, but if you saw like 1,000 comments, like, You're the man. You're
Oh,
awesome.
yes.
It's the best. You're an awesome dad. Love your music.
Douchebag.
Yeah.
That's the one.
That's the one that you're
Douchebag. It's in
Yeah.
all caps.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll click on that guy, you know, and they'll have like no profile pic with 6 followers, and I'll be lying in bed being like, I'm a douchebag, you know.
Yeah.
And it is
you
funny.
turn to your wife, you're like, "Am I a douchebag, babe?"
Right? No, it is. It's funny. It's funny, man. You just, you know, it's the world. You know, for creative people, well, it's everybody. Everybody's creative. It's the world. It's almost like you need God. Like I say, you need God because the world, humanity doesn't. We're not that great.
Yeah.
You know, at the core, humanity's not that awesome, and it's not you and you. It's me. Like the problem with the world is me. It's people like me, and you know, we stifle creativity, and we're jealous, and you know, I struggle with, you know, with me saying, can't everybody just be proud of me? I also watch people next door and I'm like, can't be really happy for their success. I'm like, crap, man. I wanted that moment, you know, or, you know, Chris Stapleton beat me at the Grammys. I don't even know that guy. And I was like, son of a, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I was so, that night, Lainey and I, we went to dinner and I was like, isn't that a shame? Like, I should have been so happy.
And then you're like,
Chris
wait a minute.
Stapleton. Was that?
But then you're like, I just got nominated at the Grammys.
Right.
Holy crap.
I know. And I wasn't even jacked because I was too busy being mad at Chris Stapleton. You know, I'm like, why's he got to win everything? Why's he got to be good? You know? And, but yeah, anyway, man, I could go on and on about just the complexity of, you know, just this biz. But I have a lot of blessings to count. And
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for where we are.
Absolutely.
Now.
And the Grammys and any award shows, are there a lot of politics in those or what?
Shoot, I mean, I don't know what goes on.
Yeah.
You know, I know
Who does the voting?
Yeah, hey, let's talk about that. Here's the thing, you know, you're an athlete. Man, sports is so fun because it's like you go out and the winner wins.
Exactly.
And that's one thing I have noticed about you know, musical awards thing. You know, they're obviously they want viewership.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how the politics works, but you know, it's not always well, and there's probably a lot of people who are like, well, that's why we don't like Fancy Like, because it's not that good, you know, and it still did great, you know, on the chart. So, but yeah, music and like the whole award thing, it's not like sport. There is no, it's so objective. You know, there's
exactly.
not, you don't go on a field and keep a score.
You don't go on stage and then you got Chris Stapleton across from you and you don't
battle the bands.
Which would be awesome.
It would.
Yeah.
I would lose.
TikTok dance.
It's like that's what's so fun about rock, man. Is you know, you're like whoever puts the buttons the best wins.
Exactly. There's no way to actually tell who's the winner.
Right.
There's one guy at the end who's got all the final say.
And that's okay. You know, that's a good thing. You know, that's another thing that I struggle at and try to teach my kids is, bro, it's okay to be excited for somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, it is just fine. Like when another artist succeeds, it's really good for you. It means that there's a life there, that there's hope for you, that you can create something that fans will also eventually appreciate maybe. And, you know, but in the meantime, I'm like, freaking Chris Stapleton, man. He's got too many trophies.
Yeah. Overrated.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. Man.
He should cover Fancy Like that. It would be massive.
That'd be huge.
Probably ruin his career because traditional people would be like, you went to the dark side.
One thing I want to talk about real quick, sobriety.
Yes, sir.
You're sober.
Yeah.
How long?
8 years this October.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, it's good.
Love that.
It's good. One of the best decisions I've ever made. Kind of a, you know, family thing. You know, it's common.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, man, 8 years, and yeah, it's what do you want to know about? I mean, yeah.
I've been sober for 5 months now, 5 or 6
Oh my
months.
God.
So
No way, dude.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah, and I
That
love
was
it.
you
Love
were
it.
like,
yeah,
you needed to, or
yeah. Think a little bit of both. I've
Okay.
never woken up after drinking and been like, you know what, I'm glad I did that.
yeah,
And I always feel it physically, emotionally. I get super depressed
Yeah.
for like a couple days with alcohol in my system. So I'll go through times when I drink a lot and then I don't drink, and then I'm just like, yeah, I'm done.
So are you done?
I'm done. I think so.
There you go.
I'm trying to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Trying
good for
to.
you,
Yeah.
man. A lot of similar. I experienced a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
You know, I thought alcohol was kind of
That's what.
numbing things, but it was actually I was going down.
Yeah.
You know, down there. But yeah, I'll never. I mean, are you like socially? Are you okay? I remember my first show sober was one of the scariest
Oh
things
yeah.
ever. You know, just doing life. You know, 100% sober was kind of freaky to me at first.
Socially, I guess that is. I don't find it tough anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. At first, but yeah, because I avoid those situations,
Yeah.
like going out and
Right.
because I'm kind of like an all or nothing guy too.
Yeah.
So if I'm going, I'm not gonna have one.
Right.
If I have one, I'm gonna have 16.
million. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. But socially, it's just putting yourself in different situations where I guess you don't need it or don't want it.
Right.
So
Have you had any moments where you're like almost slipped?
there was recently I was at a friend's house and we were playing a cornhole tournament. It was actually Shawn Johnson who was here. And I was like, man, it would be really nice just to have one drink right now.
Yeah.
But then I didn't. And then I was glad I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I knew how I would have felt if I had that one.
Right.
I would have woken up being like, damn, I was doing so good.
Right.
On a good streak. That's probably been the closest.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. What about you? You have no cravings, nothing.
I know. I mean, I've had some crazy nights, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I have an amazing story. When I was 2 years sober when we lost our 7th child. She was a stillborn. And the day we buried her, I drove to this bar, 55 South in Franklin, and I just wanted to get in a fight and get hammered. And when I opened my door, my wallet lives in that little pocket right there in my door, and it wasn't in there. And when I went back to my house, Lainey was by herself on the couch, just, you know, so sad. And I felt so guilty because I had just left her and the kids to go and just explode, you know. And I felt guilty because I was like, how selfish is it? Like we're already dealing with enough. I just wanted to add, you know, to it because it felt better, you know, it might feel better. And anyway, she found me an AA meeting, and I drove to an AA meeting, and that AA meeting saved my life. The first dude that talked there stood up, and his first words were, "I was angry," and that just helped me so much. I mean, that's all I needed to hear. And you know, was that somebody else, you know, felt that. And so, yeah, man. I mean, I've had a couple nights where I start thinking nobody would know. And to me, that's the most dangerous place. Is like I could do this and hide it
and get away with it.
And so that, you know, I definitely I have a strong, you know, community of friends, you know, who are there for me. But, you know, I also feel like if there's ever a time where I start thinking, hey, I outgrew this, hey, I can have a few, that is the voice of a liar. I mean, I'm like you, bro. You talking about all or nothing. I mean, I'm either going to hit balls at Topgolf till my hands bleed, or I'm not going to swing once. And so that's just kind of how I do everything. And so, really, you know, communicating, talking about sobriety, that's very helpful to me because it helps me to not lie or hide, just get it all out there. And I've also found that since I've become sober, a lot of my friends kind of follow, you know, and I've been able to help and walk through that process with some other buddies of mine. And so we're, you know, there's a nice little community, you know, staying sober together. But
yeah, because I feel like everybody's scared to kind of take that step.
Yeah.
It is such the social norm.
Yeah.
And if I drank, like I would, you know, maybe be in a good headspace and want to have fun, but eventually it just goes to drinking to avoid, to push things back.
Right.
And to numb the pain.
Yeah.
So then you start to get that out of your life, then you can start dealing with those things.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about
overwhelming thing.
You
yeah.
do. You those reasons that you drank, you're like, dang, there it is.
Yeah.
But also the pleasures and the joys and the good emotions are you know, bigger.
Exactly.
So that's kind of cool. But yeah, you definitely have to learn. I hit the gym hard. Like after sobriety, I was like, let's get jacked. and then I realized, I was like, okay, I'm at the gym like 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
You know, this has just become another coping mechanism.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there were phases of learning with addiction, but I'm one of those guys, man. Everything I touch, I can turn into a crutch.
Yeah.
You know, in some way, form, or fashion.
Yeah.
So I have to really check myself.
Absolutely.
With that. But I'm proud of you, man. 5 months is crazy.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll get there. And I'm proud of you. You're killing it.
Thanks, man.
With everything. It's awesome to see the success.
Yeah.
And it's just awesome to be able to sit down and chat with you.
It's good to hang, man.
And maybe I'll see you at the softball game soon.
Let's go, dude.
All right. Well, you're the man.
Dude, thank y'all for having me. It's good stuff.
Thank you so much for coming on. Walker Hayes, everybody.